I think we'll make a start. We'll have the chairman making his opening remarks, and then we'll proceed with government organizations coming and sitting in front. All right, Chairman, over to you.
I will ask the Deputy Chair to open our committee hearing by a word of prayer.
Thank you, Chairman. Let us all bow our heads and recite the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, hallowed be your name. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Yes, the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to this committee hearing by the Constitutional Laws, Acts, and Subordinate Legislation Committee. Let me thank my committee members who are with me this afternoon. Now I invite them to introduce themselves. Let us start from the Deputy Chair.
Good day, everyone. I am Honorable Alma Elisa, the Deputy Chairman of this hearing.
Good day, everyone. I'm Honorable Leonora Kedukwakwa, member of the committee.
Good day, everyone. I'm Honorable Dylan Minikula, and I'm the member of this committee.
Good day, everyone. I'm Honorable Elizabeth Vevao, and a member of the committee.
Good day, everyone. My name is Lemet Matho, and I am a member of the committee.
Good day, everyone. I am Kara Wemun, and I'm a member of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, committees. The purpose of this hearing is to deliberate on the proposed law to amend the organic law on certain constitutional office holders. The proposed is 3 days. Organic law on certain constitutional office holders, Amendment Law 2024. This proposed law seeks to amend Section 17 of the Organic Law by proposing to increase the retirement of constitutional office holders. The amendment proposed to increase the retirement age from 55 years to 72 years for constitutional office holders like Clerk of Parliament, Public Prosecutor, Public Solicitor, Chief Magistrate, and Auditor General. The proposed law further seeks to provide for the appointing authority to decide for an appointment not exceeding 75 years. The proposed law is before this committee for further examinations. The law was introduced in Parliament by the Minister for Justice and Attorney General and referred to the committee. Here with the committee this afternoon to assist the committee in its examination of the proposed law are representatives from the Department of Justice and Attorney General, the First Legislative Council, Constitution and Law Reform Commission, the Dean of Law, School UPNC, two important government bodies that are responsible for providing legal advice and the drafting of legislations, the Department of Justice and Attorney General, and the First Legislative Council. I would also like to thank representatives from the PNG Council of Churches, Women, Youth and Non-Government Organizations. I welcome you all and thank you for making time available to attend this committee hearing. I am sure your participation will assist the committee to make a detailed examination and report Parliament of the proposed law. I now declare the hearing open. Committee members, do you have anything to say before we proceed with our hearing? Okay, sorry, before that, I now call upon the members of the parliament to come and take your seats. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. I now call upon the governmental officials to come and take your seats. I now call upon the First Legislative Council to provide their submission.
Thank you, Chairman, and members of the committee and the stakeholders, so as the citizen of this beautiful nation, Papua New Guinea. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all. Basing on the proposed bill, retirement of age, amendment of Section 17 of Organic Law, I've got two concepts to clearly bring to your attention. Number one, drafting and compliance. The bill has been adopted correctly in accordance to the drafting instruction provided by the relevant government, that is the Department of Justice and the Attorney General. And number two, the certification of correction. Absolutely and formally states that the bill is correct and it take its structure. To conclude, to propose bill retirement amendment of Section 17 of the Organic Law is amended. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. The committee will receive your proposal with recommendation. Before we proceed, I will ask the committees if they have any questions to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question for the First Legislative Council. Is there consultation and coordination between your office and the Department of Justice during the drafting of the legislation? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Lebet Mato, MP, thank you for that good question. In answer to that question, absolutely yes, it is a standard practice for government department to consult with the Department of Justice when making legal amendments. And this ensures that the proposed changes are legally sound and do not conflict with other laws. Thank you.
Shall we move on to next? Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I note that some laws are closely tied to the Constitution, and even minor amendments may create legal uncertainty if not carefully aligned. My question is, are there potential risks that increasing the retirement age could conflict with constitutional provisions of the amendment if the amendment is not clearly and precisely drafted? Thank you.
Thank you, Leonora. Honorable Leonora, pardon me. In response to your question, we must check that no constitutional rule is contradicted by the amendment. If any differences appear, we will adjust wording to make them consistent. A short explanation note can show the public the intention behind the scenes. This helps avoid misunderstanding or legal challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. I now call upon the First Legislative Council to provide their submission. Sorry about that. Let's move forward. I now call upon the Dean of the School of Law to make your presentation.
Sound check. Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, members of the committee and distinguished stakeholders and audience. By way of introduction, I am Karogol Ian, Dean of University of Papua New Guinea School of Law. Firstly, I acknowledge the Minister for Justice and Attorney General for this proposed amendment on the organic law and certain constitutional office holders. Now, the proposed amendment basically on Section 17 aims to increase the retirement age for constitutional office holders such as the public prosecutor, public solicitor, the auditor general, and the clerk of parliament, and the chief magistrate. From the original law, it's, I think, 55 years. So the proposed amendment this proposed amendment on Section 17 aims to increase the retirement age of constitutional office holders such as the public prosecutor, the public solicitor, the chief magistrate, the clerk of the national parliament, and auditor general from 55 years and 60 years respectively to 72 years as the compulsory retirement age. Now, while this proposed amendment will help the constitutional office holders to retain in their office for a little longer so that they can utilize their experience and institutional knowledge to contribute to the office, it also poses some significant implications, especially on youth and youth employment. So now, firstly, the proposed amendment will increase the retirement age. So as you can see, we have this will significantly prevent young legal officers to rise and take over the position from these old people. So it's like keeping the old people a little longer in that same office again. So this could potentially prevent young professionals from their professional progression, to prevent them to progress professionally and to rise to that role of constitutional office holders. And why do we have to wait until now just to amend this section, to just let a few people in there for a little longer? Because I believe we have enough legal officers and public servants who are ready to take over from that office. So we can just easily come here and just amend that section just to keep someone for just a little bit longer in that same office, because it's public office. Public servants and other legal professions would like to have the honor to serve there as well. So it's like, seriously, the members of the committee need to seriously deliberate on that and discuss, because from an academic background in law school in UPNG, we graduate around 100 law students annually, and about more than 100 students are admitted to the bar to practice law annually. So we have enough lawyers there who can take over the office, especially the public constitutional office holders. So why do we have to amend the law? Just amend this specific provision just to keep the same people over and over again. So that's it. Moving on to my next point. This will also erode public confidence if we are, because it's public office, and if we propose this amendment to increase the retirement age, it might raise questions on integrity and accountability of this office. So from an academic background, we seriously want the good minister, and of course the committee, you can bring it to the minister, so to deliberate further on this. And it will also raise a lot of questions on the integrity of the appointing authority. Questions like, so we don't have enough public servants to occupy this office, so you're just amending that section just to keep the same people there? So members of the committee seriously need to consider this. I think that's it from the School of Law. Moving on to our recommendation, we seriously like the members of the committee, and of course the Minister for Justice and Attorney General, to seriously review this proposed amendment. You just can't come here and amend laws just to keep someone in that public office for too long. So we recommended that a comprehensive impact awareness must be conducted to critically evaluate how this amendment might not just affect the office and the office holders, but the public as well, and how will this influence especially young legal professionals who would like to work and serve in those public offices. That's it from the School of Law Dean. Thank you. Back to Dr. Chairman.
Thank you. The committee will receive your proposal with recommendation. That is one of the issues that has been speculating through social media lately, and it is very concerning. Now, I have a question. Does increasing the retirement age reduce opportunities for new legal professionals to enter these roles? And how should the law manage this?
Thank you, Chairman, for your question. Basically, to answer your question, longer service in the office can reduce the number of openings for new graduates. It will prevent new graduates to be engaged at the office. So to your second point, by keeping experienced leader, it's good also. It will help stabilize the institutions because they expect and they have sufficient experience. Thank you.
Thank you, UPNG School of Law, Dean Mr. Karogol Ian, for the wonderful presentation. Shall we move on to the next?
I have a remark to make for the UPNG School of Law Dean. Through you, Mr. Chairman, I note the Dean of the UPNG School of Law's position that the retirement age under Section 17 should remain unchanged. From a constitutional perspective, maintaining the current provision promotes legal certainty and reduces the risk of arbitrary or discriminatory application. Thank you.
Thank you. I now call upon Secretary, Department of Justice and Attorney General.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee, the stakeholders and NGOs, and the audience. To begin, I'm Gilbert Balailoi, Secretary, Department of Justice and Attorney General. I want to present you my proposal, and I have two currently on the table. Number one, consistency and constitutional integrity. The upward adjustment of retirement ages must be harmonized across all relevant laws. These laws are constitutional or constitution, principal organic law, enabling statutes, and HR instruments. To avoid conflicts in tenure and acting appointments, the committee should seek a crosswalk of all affected provisions and a transitional schedule to prevent litigation over uneven application. And moving on to number two, it's performance and safeguards. Longer tenure heightens the needs for robust performance assessment and fitness to serve mechanisms. Examples are like medical or competency reviews, impartial removal processes for incapacity or misconduct. Without this, extended ages should enhance underperformance and complicate accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary, Department of Justice and Attorney General, Honorable Gilbert Bailoloi. The committee will receive your proposal with recommendation. To the committees, do we have any questions?
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Gilbert Baloiloi, Secretary, Department of Justice and Attorney General. A remark note, when people serve longer, planning for future leadership becomes more complex. We want to understand how department prepare new leaders over time. My question is, how will extended retirement ages affect the way you plan for future leadership in these offices? Thank you.
To respond to your question, Honorable Elizabeth Vevao, Department will need stronger planning so new leaders are developed early. We will require each office to identify better leaders and support their trainings. This ensures continuity even if senior staffs retire later. Succession planning becomes even more important under this amendment.
Thank you. Shall we move on to the next? I now call upon Secretary of the Law Reform Commission.
Thank Mike. Thank you, Chair. Greetings, Deputy Chair, and of course the committee and the stakeholders present this afternoon. As the Secretary for the Constitution and Law Reform Commission, it is within my jurisdiction to ensure that current, existing, and to be amended laws are updated, current, and that it satisfies the needs and views of the people of Papua New Guinea. In response to the amendment of Section 17 retirement, which calls for the repealing of retirement age for constitutional office holders from 55 and 60 and replacing it with 72 and 75 respectively. Now, increasing the retirement age does have its benefits. We acknowledge the importance of the amendment as it allows for continuity and the transfer of important knowledge, skills, and expertise to the younger generation, as per the press release from our good minister and Attorney General Pila Nininga. Additionally, increasing retirement age boosts pension systems finance by increasing contribution and payout years, leading to longer and higher employment for adults. However, we are in acknowledgement of the fact that the current life expectancy of Papua New Guineans is 65. Now, that is a 1.1 decline from 2023, with indicators of further decline as the years progress on. So it's 65 this year. Come next year, it could be 60, 50, the number goes down. If we take into consideration this trend and the declining life expectancy, are constitutional officers going to have people in them? And if increased to the extent stated in the amendment draft, what is the guarantee that office holders will live up to see 75 or 72 in good health and be able to perform their duties effectively and contribute to nation building? Additionally, we would like for the committee to take into consideration if the extended years would actually accommodate for knowledge, skill, and transfer. Amending Section 17 would not work to benefit this. And this is why. Now, as most of us are aware, approximately 60% of our population are made up of youths, making it one of the youngest countries in the world, a significant demographic asset with immense potential. However, are faced with the challenges of limited opportunities and, of course, employment. Now, increasing the retirement gap will only help to further exacerbate the stated issue. Now, it is important to note that this is not an issue about young people alone, but it is one that can impact the health of the people whom this very amendment is made for. Allowing them to stay in office for long periods of time can negatively impact their health and well-being. At the end of the day, what we want is for our officials to live long, meaningful careers, yes, yet live long enough to retire and enjoy the fruits of their labor. We acknowledge the immense contributions that they have towards nation building in their life so far, but we believe that their time has come to rest, so we should give them their leave. With that being said, we present our points to the committee to consider. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Law Reform Commission, Honorable Teresa Diana, for your proposal. The committee will receive your proposal with recommendation. With that, the committees, if you have any questions to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question to ask the Law Reform Commission Secretary, Ms. Teresa Diana Orera. Thank you. So you mentioned that raising retirement age carries certain advantages. So could you please elaborate more on those benefits? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Caro Wemlin, for your insightful question. So as I've mentioned earlier, increasing the retirement age for constitutional office holders does have its benefit. For example, it allows for the transfer of important knowledge, skills, and expertise to younger people that are coming into the office. The point I'm trying to bring across is that the bad outweighs the good. So if we were to advance on in the next 50 years, then we would need young, energetic individuals that could actually do some good when they get into office. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Shall we move on to next? Okay, Secretary of Law Reform Commission, Honorable Teresa Diana, I just have a question here. What review system would you recommend to help the government check whether the new retirement ages are improving or weakening performances?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
According to your proposal, what review system would you recommend to help the government check whether the new retirement ages are improving or weakening performance?
Are you referring to the to be amended age requirement or the current existing age of 65 or the new one?
To be amended ages. Thank you.
So the point that I'm bringing across is that the point that I'm trying to bring across is that the retirement age should stay as it is. It should not be changed. It should definitely not go up, because that's not going to help us in the long run. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, stakeholders. All your submissions and proposals has been received or will be received by the committees with recommendations. Our session is over. You can take your leave now.
We are done with the representatives from the government departments. Now the session will be for the non-government organizations. I now welcome.
I now welcome Youth Group Rep, Mr. Nathaniel Nevins, to take the seat. All of them. I now call upon Women's Group Rep, PNC Council of Churches, NGOs, and Youth Group to take the seat. I would now call upon PNC Council of Churches to make your presentation.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chairman, Deputy Chair Lady, all the committee, government agencies, and all the audience, and people of Papua New Guinea who are watching live today. I, Samuel Taulio, the PNG Council Churches representative, hereby submitting my submission based on the organic law amended to B, subsection 2, by filling the number of 60 replacing with 75. Papua New Guinea is a Christian country with its own strong belief based on the biblical truth, standing representing the 7 mainline churches and the apostolic churches throughout Papua New Guinea. True, not in one scripture says we would stop that. However, based on the reality we are facing today in our country, here are some points that you, the chairman, and the committee need to put into consideration. One, ethical stewardship and public interest are crucial in promoting good governance, accountability, and transparency. Some principles of ethical stewardship: integrity, upholding truthfulness, and hereby adherence to professional standards. Accountability, take responsibility for professional standards. Confidently safeguarding the systems that are sustainable for our current and future generations. Competence, maintaining high standard of knowledge, skills, and professional performance by energizing a young employee. Fairness, treating all individuals equally and justify, particularly in public or private office. Social inclusion, such as promote gender equality, peace, and prosperity, address social issues. Number two, points equity and generational balance. Workplace retirement, managing workplace participants and retirement age to be balanced economic productivity and social support. Such changes could be the stagnancy and below career advancement for younger generation. Just to conclude, in the history of the Bible, Noah actually lived for 950 years, making him one of the longest living human records in the Bible, quoted in Genesis chapter 5:32, chapter 7 verse 6, chapter 9 verse 28 to 29. Later, we'll have a look at that. The life expenditure in our country, Papua New Guinea, is around 60 years, with a woman living approximately 67 to 68, then a man approximately 62 to 63 years old. Our PNG health officials aims to raise it to 70 to 80 years by focusing on better health practice and infrastructure. However, we can live to the lifespan. Recommendation based on the points that are already presented, I strongly discourage this amendment of the organic law based on the findings that already stated. Thank you. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, PNG Council of Churches Rep, Mr. Samuel Talio, for the insightful presentation. My committee will receive your proposal with recommendation. With that, any questions from the committees?
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Samuel Taulio, PNG Council of Churches. I have a question. What does the community expect in terms of age and experience for leaders in these national offices? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Elizabeth. In response to your question regarding community expectations, yes, community expect leaders to be honest, capable, and respectful. Age matters less than a behavior and performance. Experience is value, but so is openness to the new ideas. People want leaders who listen. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions?
Thank you, Chairman. PNG Council of Churches. Now, churches often remind us that leadership must make room for new voices while still valuing experience. We are curious how the community might view slower turnover in these positions. How important do you think leadership turnover is for institutions that serve the people? Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chair Lady Alma Alisa. In response to your question regarding the country turnover, communities value both experience and renewal. Slow turnover is fine if younger people are still encouraged to learn. Balance keeps the institution both wise and dynamic. This helps people feel represented. Thank you.
Shall we move on to the next? I now call upon the representative from the youth, Mr. Nathaniel Nevians, to make your proposal.
Check. Honorable Chairperson and the members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. I am honored to speak on behalf of the youth of Papua New Guinea, a group that represents both present strength and future continuity of our nation. Now, in the youth's point of view, the bill before the committee proposes amendment to Section 17 of the Organic Law on certain constitutional office holders, increasing the retirement age from 55 to 72 and the compulsory retirement age from 60 to 75 years. We acknowledge and respect the government's stated intention behind this proposal, namely to retain experience, assure continuity, and preserve institutional knowledge within key public institutions. Honorable members of the committee, we the youth respectfully submit that the amendment be considered alongside Papua New Guinea's demographic profile. Now we know that PNG is recognized as one of the youngest nations in the Pacific. According to UNFPA, more than 60% of Papua New Guinea's population is under the age of 25. Also, approximately 4 million of Papua New Guinea's populations are under 18. These figures highlight the importance of policies that support intergenerational balance in employment and leadership. From the youth's perspective, there's also no clear advantage to this amendment. There are few. Firstly, extending the retirement age allows the judiciary to continue benefiting from deep legal expertise and institutional memory, particularly in complex constitutional and commercial matters. Secondly, it provides a short-term stability, especially where there are existing constitutional gaps within the court. Thirdly, it creates an opportunity for giving mentorship where certain high constitutional office holders can guide and prepare young legal professionals for future leadership. At the same time, honorable members, there are important concerns that are respectively being raised by the youths. These concerns, from the youth's perspective, extended retirement age may unintentionally slow recruitment and promotion processes, making entry and progression more challenging for younger professionals and leaders. Also, health-wise, certain high constitutional office as the judicial works requires mental stamina and efficiency and prolong efficiency, sorry, and prolong tenure can rise performance and workload concerns. So when most of the government officers, when they are in the offices and they are being allowed to stay there for longer period of time, it can also raise concern in the performance and the ability to carry workload, because this requires a lot of mental stamina. Even when their integrity remain unquestioned. So the youths, we wish to emphasize, honorable members, that the youth position is not to oppose the experience. On the contrary, we deeply value the contribution of senior leaders and office holders. Our respectful concern is about balance, ensuring that the preservation of institutional memory goes in hand with structural succession, mentorship, and renewal. Such balance supports innovation, moral, and long-term institutional resilience. Honorable members, the views of the youth suggest a middle ground approach, one that protects judicial independence and experience, while also enabling orderly transition between leaderships. Thus, the youth recommendations are as follows: fixed term contract-based reappointments, formal mentorship and succession planning for work, retirement arrangements that maintain continuity within the workplaces. As the youth of the nation, honorable members, the Constitution of Papua New Guinea promotes equality, participation, and shared responsibility across generations. The Constitution was designed to strengthen institutions rather than personalize tenure. Orderly transition, intergenerational equity, and public trust are therefore essential elements for good governance. The youths of Papua New Guinea stand ready to contribute, to learn from experience, and to serve alongside these who have built our institutions, those senior leaders who have built our institutions. We respectfully encourage Parliament to ensure that the amendment supports both opportunity and continuity for our nation as a whole. Thank you, honorable members, for your consideration.
Thank you, Youth Group Rep, Mr. Nathaniel Nevins, for the insightful and logical presentation. My committee will receive your proposal with recommendation. Committees, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question for the youth group representative, Mr. Nathan Pungi. To keep young people engaged in public service, they need real opportunities to lead. We want to know what help them stay motivated. My question is, what support programs would help young professionals gain leadership exposure even when promotions slow down? Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member. To keep youths actively participated in the leadership development, programs like fellowship and secondments keep youths active. They are given on learning and real decision-making experience. So when youths are in volunteer activities, programs like that, they keep them developed in their leadership aspects and also help them, prepare them for careers as well.
Members of the committees, do we have any other questions? Okay, I have a question here. Do you believe the increase in retirement age will make it harder for young professionals to grow into leadership roles? And what would you suggest to address this?
Sorry, may you repeat the question?
Okay, my question reads, do you believe the increase in retirement age, will it make it harder for the young professionals to grow into leadership roles? And what would you suggest to address this?
Younger people may find fewer job openings with older retirement ages, but with proper mentoring, they can still grow in their careers. So we want clear training and development programs that this ensures youth to stay motivated. So it's kind of a balance where we have the older workforce still there, but they also have to mentor and create programs that help the younger ones to adapt.
Thank you. I now call upon Women's Group representative, Mr. Devonte Paraka, to make your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Deputy Chair Lady, members of the committee, fellow stakeholders. My name is Mr. Devonte Paraka, and I'll be the representative for Women's Group. Before I proceed onto my submission, I would like to I beg your pardon, I would like to acknowledge the committee members for the organic law on certain constitutional office holders. In relation to this bill, on a more practical scale, it is understood that women in this country are the backbone of the nation, whether that be in high offices or in general terms. That has to be acknowledged, as gender equality in this nation is a fundamental area of concern, not only within the country, but also a concern that other nations too have highlighted. Onto my submission in relation to Women's Group, I would like to propose pros and cons to this amended bill pertaining to issues that will arise from these pros and cons. The pros that have been identified are: one, pension entitlements of financial security. Longer serving constitutional office holders are entitled to pension entitlements, which is a benefit. It secures their financial independence. So that is a pro that we have identified. Two, reputational rewards. In a culture where it is male dominated, women are not appreciated as they should be. So that is a pro regarding to this bill that we have identified. But on the contrary, we have identified cons that do outweigh the pros, being one, scrutinized intensely. As I mentioned before, in a male-dominated economy such as ours, Papua New Guinea, when women occupy such posts such as the public prosecutor, public solicitor, or the chief magistrate, decisions that they make that regard to the economy has implications when they do make decisions. So they're scrutinized intensely, knowing that the cultural barriers that Papua New Guinea has, that is a downside to this bill. Two, an amendment will not change the cultural barriers, as I just stated. And 3, younger women who are capable of occupying constitutional offices are suppressed because of experience alone. It's been stated that depleting experience, skills, and a huge institutional knowledge gap are the only reasons as to why this amendment has been put. We strongly disagree with this remark because young women that hold these offices do have the capacity, in our view. So I will move on to my submission. We have identified 2 issues. 1, gender-biased application for integrity and disciplinary provisions. This basically is an impact on an increase in the retirement age under the OLCCH, Organic Law on Certain Constitutional Office Holders, extends the period during which women constitutional office holders are subject to integrity and disciplinary oversight in PNG, where women leaders already face heightened moral and behavioral scrutiny. This longer exposure, 1, increases the likelihood of complaints being lodged, whether substantiated or strategic, 2, prolongs vulnerability to politically motivated or culturally biased allegations, and 3, expands opportunities for reputational damage over time. So for women, integrity and scrutiny often shifts from professional conduct to personal character, which reinforces gender bias. Moving on to my second issue, age-biased entitlements to larger pensions hinders the national budget. In the view of women, this is a significant impact. Growing pension costs to women exceeding the ages of 55 and 60, as stated in the bill to be amended, it increases the liability. It increases the liability as it consumes a large portion of the national budget. So this is a downside to the bill, in our opinion, and may result in the forced cuts to pertinent services such as education, health, and basic infrastructure that young women who aspire to be public solicitors, public prosecutors, have the right to benefit from. So ultimately, this may increase tax burden on hardworking, young and energetic women, mothers in the village, as such, so to speak, who support their children to go to school, to get a substantial education so that they can be someone in the future in relation to women. So, so women who do aspire to become a public prosecutor, auditor general, or chief magistrate, this bill does have a hindrance when the age is being increased, or is to be increased. So in saying that, we have 3 inquiries on the bill that we want to put or submit to the committee members. 1, what are the strategies that the committee members have in place to safeguard young aspiring women who have merit and are capable of occupying constitutional offices? 2, have the committee members taken into account how the national budget can be affected in relation to government pensions? And 3, how can this bill benefit and inclusively represent women in this nation? Our recommendations to the inquiries that we have proposed, I will orally give it. 1, establishing a separate constitutional advisory office that is comprised of experienced office holders, can pertain to that issue of where there's knowledge gaps and where there's less experience, that can fundamentally help increase or basically serve young aspiring women to occupy those positions. So that is an important recommendation that we have put forward. And 2, strengthen the economy's budget by not increasing the retirement age and limiting government liability in relation to prolonged pension entitlements, and allocating handsome amounts of the budget to paramount sectors such as health, education, and infrastructure, as I mentioned, to help support women development. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Devonte Paraka, for your presentation on behalf of Women's Group. The committee will receive your proposal with recommendation. With that, the committees, do you have any questions?
I have a question to the Women's Group representative. Through you, Mr. Chairman, women continue to work hard to increase representation in leadership and decision-making roles. Where positions are held for longer periods, it is important to understand the implications for equality and inclusion. My question is, could raising the retirement age potentially slow opportunities for women for increasing women's participation in leadership positions?
Thank you, Honorable Leonora Kerukwakwa, for your question. Longer tenures may slow gender equality reforms, but reporting and regular review can keep progress on track. We support clear goals and monitoring. This keeps momentum steady. Thank you.
Thank you. Shall we move on to next? I now call upon NCO Group representative, Mr. Stanley Wadibo, to make your presentation.
Test. Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Chairman, Deputy Chair, and the members of the committee for recognizing and giving this time to us, the NGOs, to present our proposal. I also would like to extend my word of acknowledgement to the government agencies, stakeholders, and the general audience. I shall now move on to our verbal proposal. So I'm moving on with the introduction. We acknowledge and respect the authority of the Parliament in considering amendments to the organic law, particularly the proposed increase of the mandatory retired age of 55 to 72 and 75 years. While we recognize that the intention of this amendment may be to retain experienced professionals and address skill shortage in the public sector, our organization wishes to raise serious concerns regarding the broader social and economic impact of this proposal. I have some key concerns, and the first one reads, youth unemployment and workforce entry barriers. Papua New Guinea has a rapidly growing youth population, with thousands of graduates and school leavers entering the labor market each year. Extending retirement age to 72 and 75 will significantly reduce job vacancies in the public service and statutory bodies, thereby limiting opportunities for young, qualified Papua New Guineans. This may worsen youth unemployment and contribute to social issues such as crime, poverty, and urban migration. Moving on to the second point, workforce productivity, and health considerations. While experience is valuable, the physical and mental demands of public sector roles may be challenging for individuals well into their 70s. Increased age-related health concerns could affect productivity, increase absenteeism, and place additional pressure on the national health system and employment benefit schemes. The third point, stagnation of leadership and innovation. Longer retention of senior officers may slow leadership renewal and limit innovation within institutions. Younger professionals bring new ideas, digital skills, and contemporary approaches that are essential for modern governance and service delivery. The last key concern, equity and intergeneration balance. The proposed amendment raises concerns of intergeneration equity. Policies should balance the welfare of older employees with the rights and aspirations of younger citizens to participate meaningfully in nation building. Moving on with the recommendation, I have about 3 recommendations. So we respectfully recommend that Parliament considers a phased and flexible approach rather than a blanket increase of the retirement age to 75. Specifically, we propose retaining the current retirement age of 55 or moderately increasing it to 60 or 65 years, in line with regional and international practice. The second recommendation, introducing contract-based extension for critical and specialized positions where skill shortages exist, subject to medical fitness and performance reviews. The last recommendation, establishing succession planning and mentorship program allowing senior officers to transfer knowledge to younger employees prior to retirement. In conclusion, with NGOs, we strongly believe that national policy must promote inclusivity, sustainability, and fairness. Any amendment to the retirement age should carefully consider its long-term impact on employment productivity and social stability. We urge the Parliamentary Committee to take this concern into account and adopt a balanced approach that supports both experienced professionals and the future workforce of Papua New Guinea. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stanley Wadibo, for your presentation on behalf of NCO Group. The committee will receive your proposal with recommendation. Before I proceed, I will ask the committees if they have any questions to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, I would like to direct this question to Mr. Stanley Wodibo, representing the NGO sector. Do you support regular midterm performance assessments for officers who serve beyond the usual retirement age? Thank you.
All right, in response to Honorable Dylan Minikula, I have some answers here. The first one, midterm reviews help ensure officers remain effective. Independent assessors make this process fair. Review We use higher strengths and areas to improve. This keeps performance steady over longer service periods. Thank you.
Shall we move on to the next? Thank you very much to everyone who has taken the time to be here with us today. On behalf of the Committee on Constitutional Laws and Subordinate Legislation, I extend our sincere appreciation to all the government officials, representatives from civil society, the churches, the youth, women's group, and the NGO community who have shared their views with us. This hearing has given the committee valuable insights into the proposed amendment to the organic law, particularly the changes to the retirement age for constitutional office holders. Your presentations today help us understand how this amendment may affect our institutions, our public service, and the next generation of Papua New Guineans. Although this is a mock parliament session, the issues we discussed are real, and the lessons we take from this exercise are equally meaningful. I want to thank our presenters for explaining your points in simple and clear terms. Many of our participants today are now new to committee work, and your patience and clarity made the process accessible and educational for everyone. We also acknowledge the thoughtful questions from the committee members, which will bring out important points for consideration. The committee secretariat will now compile the views presented today into a summary, and the committee will use these reflections to prepare our report, where I, as a chairman, will deliver the committee statement to Parliament in the mock session on Friday, 19 December 2025. This marks the end of our inquiry session, but the learning continues as our young participants gain first-hand experience of how laws are examined, questioned, and improved through open discussions. To everyone present, thank you again for your cooperation, your respect for the process, and your contributions. We hope today's session has strengthened our understanding of how Parliament works and how important public consultations are in shaping the laws of our country. With that, I now formally close today's committee hearing. Thank you and God bless you all.
Okay, everyone, we have come to the end of